How's it going? It's Nathan Hawken, and welcome to the video. Now, can we talk about balance for a second? Because I think it's time that someone called complete nonsense to the whole thing. Everyone is obsessed with finding balance, work-life balance, balancing your priorities, balancing your energy, balancing your time. But something nobody is really talking about is how balance is just another buzzword, and it's actually keeping you stuck. The popular belief is that you need to evenly distribute your energy across everything in your life. Equal parts work, family, health, hobbies, side hustle, whatever. That if you just find the right formula, the right system, the right morning routine, or the right evening routine, you'll achieve this mystical state of complete balance. But here's my contrarian stance. It's actually bullshit, nonsense. Things are going to dominate your time and energy from time to time. Sometimes your business will be all-consuming. Sometimes your relationships are going to demand your attention. Sometimes your goals are going to require periods of complete obsession and focus. And you know what? That's not just okay. That's how it actually works. So it's time to stop chasing balance and start to build a foundation instead. Now, balance may seem like a good thing, but you're actually losing a few things along the way when you keep chasing this mystical balance. You're actually spending more time trying to find balance instead of actually building the life you want. When you try and create this balance and you keep focusing on balance, you're actually losing a few things along the way because you're spending more time actually trying to find this balance instead of building the life that you really want. You're stressing about why you can't balance everything when the real problem is you're trying to balance things which were never meant to be balanced. And who benefits from this? Well, everyone really. The self-help industry, the personal development industry, which I accept that I'm part of, they sell you another course or another ebook to download or another book in general on time management and creating balance. Your ego gets to stay nice and comfortable because I'm working on finding balance sounds way better than I'm avoiding what actually matters. And comfort wins because seeking balance is way easier than accepting that some things are going to dominate and making choices about what dominates. Here's the thing about balance. When things are balanced, it's not a foundation. I mean, think about it. If you've got a scales which are perfectly balanced and you take one thing away from one side, what happens? Everything falls. That's not stability. That's fragility disguised as harmony. I see this constantly in my sessions with clients. Like a client will come in and say, look, I'm trying to balance everything at the moment. I've got a brand new baby, this real estate goal that I've got. I'm teaching my other goals that I'm working on. And I watch them create these elaborate systems to really try and juggle it all. And they're exhausted because they're trying to make everything equal. And life just doesn't work that way. Another client of mine spent years trying to balance their mindset work with actually taking action. And you know what happened? Years went by. There was no progress because they were waiting for that perfect balance to happen before moving forward. Now look, I used to believe this stuff too, and I used to preach it. I used to work with my clients on it. I thought I needed to have that perfect balance before I could really go what I was after and what I really wanted. But then something shifted for me. I can't remember the exact time when, but something really shifted when I realized that finding balance, it was just another rule to follow, just another thing that I had to do, another pressure that I was putting on myself, another should that was keeping me from actually doing what I wanted to do. These days, I'm more focused on doing what I want to do and what makes me happy. Yeah, my business consumes a lot of my time sometimes. Yeah, things will dominate my energy. My family dominates my energy sometimes. But it becomes way easier when you're actually doing what you want to do. You're enjoying the process. You're working towards what you actually want and not trying to meet some external standard of balanced living. I've coached enough people through this pattern to know that it's nonsense by this stage. And it always comes back to the same thing. And that's trying to make time for yourself while everything else is dominating. But here's the thing. It's only a problem when you're fighting against what naturally dominates rather than consciously choosing it. So what do I do instead? Well, forget about balance. Accept that things are going to dominate. One day after the next, it might be different, but just accept that something is going to dominate. Work will consume you sometimes. Building something meaningful isn't a 9-to-5 endeavor. Your side hustle, your business, your huge goals that you're working towards, they're all consuming when they need to be. But here's the key. What's the foundation? Not your balance, but your actual foundation. What will hold everything up permanently as you build? What are you building on, rather than trying to balance perfectly? Is it harder? It can be, but only when you're putting that extra pressure on yourself to find balance. What changes is clarity. Your focus switches from what works best for you, not what you've been told you should do. It's like when you hear that you have to wake up at 4 a.m. to crush your day. That complete bollocks. Like, says who? That's just another rule that someone made up that has nothing to do with your life. When you stop seeking balance and start building a foundation, you get to consciously choose what dominates your time and energy. And that makes all the difference. Had a client once, came to me, burnt out from trying to balance everything. In the first session, I asked, now, what would happen if you stopped trying to balance and just accepted that business sometimes is going to dominate right now? What would change? She said that it felt like permission to stop fighting herself. Within weeks, she had more clarity, she had more energy because she wasn't wasting it on this external pressure to just try and balance everything. Every major breakthrough in your life has come from periods where something dominated. Getting a PhD, starting a business, landing your first big client. All that requires obsessive focus, the confidence, the results, the growth. It all came from letting things dominate just for a little bit and when they needed to, not from trying to find this evenly perfect, balanced life along the way. The pattern which I observed is that show me someone who's stressed out about finding balance, and I'll show you someone who's built their life on shifting scales instead of on solid ground. So here's my challenge for you. Stop trying to find balance. Start building your foundations. Ask yourself, what would hold everything up permanently? Not what needs to be balanced. What's foundational to everything else that you want to build? This will probably be uncomfortable because for most of us, we've been conditioned to believe that balance is the goal or one of the goals. You'll feel like you're doing it wrong if you don't get balanced right. You'll worry about being unbalanced and everything falling over. And if it is uncomfortable, good. The discomfort means that you're challenging a comfortable lie that you've come to believe over the years. When you challenge yourself like this, you ask these questions of yourself and you get an answer, you're going to learn something. And what you're going to learn is that you're going to have way more energy, you're going to have more time, you're going to have more clarity when you stop fighting the natural dominance of things and you start consciously choosing what is going to dominate your time and energy. Now, I also know that some of you might be thinking, yeah, but Nathan, what about like your health and what about burnout? Don't we need to balance these things or have some type of balance to prevent these things? And look, yeah, I understand that. I hear what you're saying. But here's the thing. Burnout doesn't come from things dominating your life. Burnout comes from things dominating your life that you don't want to be doing. From pressure you're putting on yourself to meet someone else's standard of balance. So tell me in the comments below, am I completely off base here? Where do you think I'm wrong? Where do you think I'm right? Let's actually have a conversation about it. To finish up this video, here's what I want you to do. Just ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, what's actually dominating your time and your energy right now? And is it actually what you want dominating? Question 2, what pressure are you putting on yourself right now to find balance? That's actually just another rule that you're following. And question 3, if you stopped trying to balance everything right now, what foundation would you build instead? You don't need permission to let things dominate. You need permission to consciously choose what dominates. And that's power. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you found value in it, please share it around, like the video and comment. It really helps me out to reach more people. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.